So if you are at that breaking point right now, the first step isn't a workout. It is a decision. You must decide unequivocally that you will not accept your current state any longer. Don't try to white knuckle it alone. Again, your next step is to find the structure and accountability you know that you need. That intense feeling you have right now, that is demanding action. That intense feeling of motivation will turn into an intense, chaotic feeling of crushing frustration if you don't do something. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rising Father podcast. I'm Chris Rodack. Today, we're going to talk about that critical moment, the fed up point, the rock bottom point, whatever you want to call it, that raw, undeniable feeling that things have to change right now. And we know from talking to hundreds of men applying to the Men of Fire program that this is often the catalyst. But here's the hard truth. That fire can burn out fast if you don't know how to channel it. Today, we're going to break down how to turn that breaking point into your permanent breakthrough. And let's get real. Getting to this point sucks. It's born from accumulated frustration, maybe disgust with your own inconsistencies, seeing the negative impact on your wife and kids, all things men tell us directly. Let me get to some of these surveys. So I'm going to be referencing the surveys guys turn in when they're applying for the Men of Fire program. So here's some of the frustrations men just like you have that cause them to reach out, apply, and some of them are in our program right now past these things. All right, so the question was, what do you need to change to become the husband your wife deserves, the father your children deserve, and the best man you can be? I'm just going to go through a couple of these. Discipline, passionate, because I feel sometimes low and dejected. Consistency, because they are worth it and so am I. I need to overcome selfishness, my attitude towards life. Emotional eating and discipline. Holding myself accountable, quit porn, work out more, be more present with my family, get off the screens, get into shape so I can be there for my younger children. I need patience, not to yell and lose my temper. Discipline, need to be focused, healthy and fit, healthy mind and consistent exercise. I want to be in top shape. My anger, better fitness and discipline. Depression, disappointment, and past traumas took a toll on me. I gave into trying to control it, unhealthy coping and concealing. I allowed things to build, specifically guilt, shame, and broken relationships. Routines and purpose. I need to commit to a better, healthier lifestyle. I need to be the example for my wife and kids. I need to break existing bad habits, bad food, laziness, and replace them with a healthier lifestyle. Mindset and discipline. There's hundreds and hundreds of these. These are examples of guys who've had it. They've reached the breaking point and they've said enough. And the sad truth is, some guys reach that breaking point, and instead of feeling that pain and doing something about it, they medicate themselves to make the pain go away, which therefore causes more pain. They will feel the pain that you just heard, and instead of doing something about it, they'll take a drink, or they'll put some food in their mouth, or they'll smoke something that makes the pain go away, provides an escape from reality, and they never feel the pain of their current actions, so they keep on causing more pain to themselves and their family. That is the sad truth. So you are not alone feeling this way. That intense, sick and tired feeling, that's your internal alarm system screaming that you're drastically off course from the man you're meant to be. And then what usually happens next? You usually get a surge of motivation, and you'll say, this time is going to be different. You clean up your diet for a couple days, you hit the gym hard for a week, you promise yourself you'll be more present, and then it doesn't happen. Why? Because we sabotage ourselves, right? Then what happens? Life happens. Old habits creep back in. That intense initial emotional charge fades, and you fall back into the same patterns. Here's some survey responses from guys who are talking about being inconsistent. One of the questions I ask is, how long have you been thinking about making these changes? Let me read you some of these. You can get the average one. Guy says a few years, 7 to 8 years, years, 4 years, 4 years, 2 years, 4 years, years, 20 years, 6 years, decades, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 6 months, 10 plus years, 5 years, 10 years, 10 plus years, 2.5 years, 8 years. These are just some of the hundreds of responses that guys have about how long have you been thinking about making these changes. Because what do? We give ourselves excuses, we get motivated, unmotivated, we pretend we're going to take action, then we don't. Here's a question: what caused you to take action right now? Someone said, just tired of having to pull myself out of the hole over and over again. Been building for a while, but I need accountability. I need brotherhood. I need to keep growing. Not having energy to spend time with my family. Realizing that I'm expecting different results, but doing the same things. I need to do more for my family. Feeling like a failure. I'm about to lose my marriage. I realized I'm running in circles and time is running out. Tired of being stuck in life, and I need to change my life for the better. When I spend time with my family, I'm stuck in my head. I need to rise as a father. I need guidance. I've had enough. I'm tired of being tired. I'm fed up with saying I'm going to make changes but never doing it. I'm realizing time is passing away very quickly. I'm at the point where I'm done and don't know what to do. I'm sick of looking at myself in the mirror and being unhappy. I've had the calling that I need to change something now and not settle with how things are going right now. I realize I need the change. This is pain. You are hearing pain in men's voices. I felt that pain. I 100% felt that pain and can relate 1,000% to where those guys are. And the most beautiful part of what I do now is getting to watch these guys transform as I've transformed. Going from unconfident to confident, miserable to happy, fat to ripped, low energy to high energy. That is the best part of what I do. It's getting to watch the unbelievable transformations these guys make. And whenever they read their initial surveys, they get to say, okay, this is where I came from, and now this is where I'm at right now. It's a different man. Like the person I was is different than a person I am right now. And I love showing guys who are in the program, okay, this is what you said. This is how you talked. Look at you now. They're a different man. They feel different. It's so gratifying, grateful to be able to watch that. So we break promises to ourselves, right? We talked about we clean up the diet for a couple days. We hit the gym hard for a week. We promise ourselves we'll be more present. And then life happens. The old habits creep back in. That initial emotional charge fades. And you fall back into the same patterns. As you can see from these survey responses, you're not alone in feeling that. And here's why. Because without structure, you don't have any plan. Emotion isn't a strategy. Waiting until life makes you feel good isn't a strategy. Waiting until life is convenient and things work out isn't a strategy. Without a clear roadmap beyond just try harder, you're just running on fumes. You can't hustle and grind with no plan. You can hustle and grind in a circle, and a decade can go by, and you can find yourself right where you are right now, with less health, less energy, emotionally spent, but the only thing that's progressed is time. Nothing else in your life is progressing but time if you don't have a plan, if you don't have discipline, systems. You have to know where you're going and have systems to get you there. When you have no accountability, then you're not going to get there. Who's holding you to the fire when that initial motivation dips? If you're relying solely on yourself, then that is why you're at your breaking point. There's a guy who goes to my gym who's multimillionaire, very successful guy, sold his businesses, and he lives in a really, really nice house. You could probably call it a mansion, but he's got a massive home gym. He spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this gym. No one's there. It's empty. He could have the entire gym to himself 24/7, but he decides to drive 20 minutes to this public gym that's the cheapest gym in the area. The guy does an amazing job with it, but it's not expensive to go to, and he waits for machines. He lays on sweaty mats, But why? Why would he choose to do that instead of use his home gym by himself? Because environment is stronger than willpower. That's why. Environment is stronger than willpower. He loves giving guys fist bumps. He loves the noise. He loves the energy of the masculine men around him, pushing him. He's developed a network of guys. He's friends. I'm friends with them. He has people pushing him, checking up on him. Hey, man, you hit your PR last week. How's that going today? What are your goals for your business? What are your goals? When you have a brotherhood of men holding you accountable, you are pushed to new heights. That's why he drives 20 minutes to wait for a machine at a public gym instead of going down to his basement. Environment is stronger than willpower. You need accountability. I hate this meme that goes around, this messaging from men that talks about burying your head in the sand, ignoring everyone, going dark for 60 days, don't tell anyone what you're doing, come back and, magically the world is going to be better for you. No, that doesn't work for anyone. That just plays on the emotions of guys who are suffering. That is it. Guys who have dropped the need to develop their social skills, who don't see the value in networking and connecting with men, who are silent and unconfident and self-conscious, which is millions and millions of guys, probably a majority of guys. They all like that kind of thing. So then that kind of post goes viral. But it's also encouraging weakness. You're not going to see any of that from me. That's not you follow me? That's not what I do. I challenge men to be their best. The last thing we need is somebody encouraging our own weakness. No, maybe you're the guy that pulls people along with you. Maybe that's the person you are. That should be the message out there. But a message that challenges you to be better doesn't go down as smoothly as a message that encourages your weakness, that tells you it's okay that you are like you are. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you it's okay that you are where you are. I'm going to tell you you need to get your ass up and work, because that's what I needed somebody to tell me back in the day. Thank God I didn't listen to those. So yeah, you need accountability. Surface level changes. You've tried changing behaviors without changing the underlying identity. The man who defaults to comfort, procrastination, and distraction. You always fall to your identity, or you rise to your identity. Who do you believe you are? You rise to that. I'm not going to dive into that for 30 minutes because I talked about it on the last podcast. Identity hacking. Identity. You must work and develop your identity. Talk to yourself in a positive way. Build yourself up. Be your biggest cheerleader. You must do that. Or else you will live down to the lazy person you believe you are. If you believe you're lazy, you're going to live down to that guy. If you believe you're complacent, you're going to live down to that person. Believe you're disciplined. Believe you're a badass, and then prove to yourself today that you are by the actions you take. You need a system. If you have no system for resilience, you will fail. So what happens when you slip up? Without a system, one bad day derails everything. You need guardrails in your life. That's what systems are. Because chaos happens. You're a father. Kids get sick. Stuff happens at work. You've got problems with the house. You've got problems with your car. All of these things happen. You have no control over it. You have no control over 99% of your life. What's the 1% thing you have control over? You. As much control as you can bring into your life, the better. How do you do that? You create systems that you do not break. Morning routines, evening routines, time blocking, non-negotiable habits for yourself, so that whenever you do have a bad day, it doesn't derail you, so that when you're not motivated, it doesn't derail you. You just follow the system. You follow your system in an unmotivated, sloppy, lazy way. But guess what? You're still sliding towards your destination. You're not always going to be on fire, running motivated and inspired. Just slide toward your destination some days. But you still showed up. It's like when you go to the gym, some days you're just not feeling it. And you just get through the workout. That is better than staying at home and convincing yourself not to do it. Because you showed up. And you're developing the habit. Then the cycle repeats, then this leads back to frustration, reinforces the belief that change is impossible, and it sets you up for the next breaking point. but only deeper. Remember, we're talking about getting to that breaking point where you say, enough is enough. I'm fed up. I'm never doing this again. Some guys, the rare man can take action before he gets there. Most guys wait until they get there. Then their egos dropped and their eyes are opened. But I would say most guys have to get to that point before they take action. I have had some guys reach out and ask for help before because they wanted to avoid that. They know somebody who's destroyed their family. Now they're getting divorced because of their bad habits, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to do that." I tell Nathan, I say, you either listen or you learn. You can follow my instruction or you're going to learn through life. I tell him that all the time. Just a simple, repeatable phrase. You listen or you learn. Because I'll say, Nathan, you should wear a coat today. He's like, I don't want to wear a coat. I'm like, all right, you either listen or you learn. And then we're going on a walk with the dog. The family's out. We're a mile away from the house. He's freezing. I said, well, you didn't listen, so now you're learning. It's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes for guys. That's the way it goes for guys. You listen or you learn. You can listen to other men's stories, and you can avoid the disaster that they've put themselves in, or you have to experience it yourself, experience the pain and suffering yourself to get you to move. You have those two choices. Why would you join a brotherhood? Why would you join the Men of Fire program? Why would you listen to other men? Because you get to learn from them. You get to listen to them. You get to hear their failures, hear their successes, and skip years and decades of DIY from your life. That's why I invest in myself and join my own I join other people's men's programs and business programs so that I do not have to suffer for decades of when I can just skip the line. Why wouldn't I do that? A guy can say, no, Chris, don't do that, do this. I say, okay. I'll just listen to and believe you. I don't need to experience it myself. I can see that, that gunshot is going to be bad for me. I don't need someone to actually shoot me. But guys have a hard time doing that. Many guys insist on going alone. They have some fantasy value that they put on themselves, that if they do the thing by themselves, it means more to them. It's like, okay, great. It means more to you, but now your life is years behind. Your kid isn't getting the father he could have, and your wife isn't getting the husband she could have, and you're not the man you could be. And once again, you're stuck at the beginning because you've told yourself that you need to do it alone. Is that really worth it to you? So let's recap. Why do we fail? Because we don't have structure. We don't have any real plan. We're relying on emotion. We have no clear roadmap besides try harder. We have no accountability. We have no one holding us to the fire when that initial motivation dips. You rely solely on yourself, and that's why you're at your breaking point. Only surface level changes. You've tried changing behaviors without changing the underlying identity. Okay, you're a man who defaults to comfort, procrastination, or distraction. You have no system for resilience. What happens when you slip up? Without a system, one bad day derails everything. Then the cycle repeats. So try to learn from what I do, because what I'm talking about is exactly what this business is about. It's exactly what Ignite 30 is about and what Men of Fire is about. It's proven systems for discipline, for health, for communication. It provides a structure for what you've lacked. Okay? So once again, you can listen or you can learn. There's hundreds of guys doing this. So listen to them. You need accountability. You need brotherhood. In my opinion, you need a coach. Every man should have a coach, a mentor. You need regular check-ins. So in Men of Fire, this isn't optional. That is the support that we give. It's built-in accountability designed to keep you moving when motivation inevitably fades. And we work on transforming your identity. We go deeper through identity hacking. We help you dismantle the old version of you and intentionally build the disciplined leader. It's not just doing different, it's being different. You cannot do different if you are not being different. It does not matter what you know. You must become the person that can do it. We work on building resilience. Men of Fire teaches you how to handle setbacks, recalibrate, and get back on mission without collapsing the entire structure. We see men come in at this exact point, being fed up with being inconsistent, disconnected, and within months they're executing daily, leading confidently because they plugged that raw energy into a system designed for results. Let me give you an example. I'm going to leave the name out. I had a guy who's just crushing it and on fire right now, crushing it and on fire. Why? Not because he has something amazingly unique about him, because he just followed the plan and didn't chase shiny objects. He didn't get in his own way. He just did exactly what we told him to. He comes on tons of coaching Zoom calls. He never misses a weekly accountability check-in. He's always engaged in the group. He's always posting his accountability. He's just doing what he's told. He's a good student. That's what it is. If you're not a good student, you can't learn very well. It's really important to be a great student. You have to get out of your own way and just allow somebody else's process to help you. He's a great student, so he's made an unbelievable transformation. He came in just fed up with who he was. He was incredibly unpresent, incredibly impatient, kind of being sold to his wife. He was getting fat, sloppy, lazy, drinking too much. Every single thing I just mentioned has changed. Relationship with his wife, on fire. Shredded. Disciplined. Happy. Confident. Business booming. Because he's changed his identity now. There's not a chance he's going to go back to what he was. That's why in the programs that I offer through Rising Father, we focus on the internal change that motivates the external change. We give you all the external knowledge you need that you probably already have. Ours is better. But then we work on transforming you on the inside so you can change on the outside. This guy's completely transformed his life. So if you are at that breaking point right now, the first step isn't a workout. It is a decision. You must decide unequivocally that you will not accept your current state any longer. Don't try to white knuckle it alone again. Your next step is to find the structure and accountability you know that you need. That intense feeling you have right now, that is demanding action. That intense feeling of motivation will turn into an intense, chaotic feeling of crushing frustration if you don't do something. And don't just medicate that away, take action. Action eliminates doubt. Inaction creates it. So do not let this moment pass. Use that fire you feel right now to take the next logical step towards getting the help and system you need. So if this resonates, if you're at that breaking point right now and you're just fed up, you know things must change, then stop wasting your energy. Stop hoping this time will be different and using the same failed approach. It's time to channel that fire into a proven system. Men of Fire is designed for men, exactly where you are right now, ready to commit to real transformation. So do not let this moment fade. If you're a guy who's feeling that frustration right now and wants to rise with us, then you can apply to Men of Fire, talk to me or a team member and see if you're a good fit for this program. So what do you do? How do you do that? In the description of this podcast, wherever you're listening, there's a link that you can apply. If you follow me on Instagram, click the link in the bio. You can go to risingfather.com, and you could also do it right there. Click the link, fill out the application, book a call, we can chat. That's how you start to rise. So take that decisive first step while the fire is hot. Get in, and then allow us to push you to a motivated state, and then fall back on the systems that you will learn with us so that you don't need the motivation anymore. You'll have it, but you don't need it. Don't stay stuck, frustrated, and fed up forever. Do something about it right now.